Go cameras.
Action. Just declare the meeting open, and this advised members of the public that according to the city's live streaming policy, by being present you consent to your image or voice being publicly transmitted. Could I call upon the Deputy Mayor to welcome us to country?
Thank you, Worship. I begin by acknowledging my elders, past and present. Ngalak nyana kuru ngala nois neja nunga buja. Nunga mot jurpa neji nana kwabrak nunga buja kurulong. From the beginning of time till the end, this is Noongar country. Noongar people have been graceful keepers of our nation for many, many years. Dinin karajan jurpa neja wern nunga buja galama mai borda. Look, listen, understand, and embrace all the elements of Noongar country that is forever our home. Kaiwan Jungan Kojurpa Nijinunga Buja Darsley Wangi Nunga Buja. Hello and welcome. I'm as happy as we gather here on country, a meeting on Noongar country this evening.
It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all here, and before commencing proceedings, I too would like to acknowledge that we come together tonight in the land of the Noongar people and pay our respects to elders past and present. Could I call upon Councillor Rouse to do the dedication? Had memorised it.
I do, but I've had to make a mistake. Yeah. May we, the elected members of the City of Kwinana, have the wisdom to consider all matters before us with due consideration, integrity and respect for the Council Chamber. May the decisions made be in good faith and always in the best interest of the greater Kwinana community that we serve.
Attendance, apologies, leave it previously approved is nil. Public question time. There's no questions from the public. Do councillors have any petitions? Presentations? There's no deputations. Confirmation of the minutes held on the 29th of October 25. Is there any additional information?
Nothing further, Mr. Mayor.
Questions? Someone like to move that way? Moved Councillor Sargent, seconded Councillor Rouse. Either councillors wish to speak? Speak against? Put the motion to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. Declarations of interest? Nil. Requests for leave of absence? Nil. Nothing on item 10, 11, 12, 12.1 minutes of the Bullamara Aboriginal Consultative Committee meeting held on the 3rd of November. Is there any additional information?
Nothing further, Mr. Mayor.
Questions, councillors? Councillor Brown.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just briefly, on the minutes for the Bullamara 7.1, it notes there was a presentation from Alcoa on the Kwinana refinery and there's an update around the operations there. Will there be a similar update coming to council?
That didn't actually, yeah.
Oh, that didn't.
It didn't occur.
Okay, is there an intent for that to occur, I guess, here, but also at a council briefing, for example?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Alcoa are actually coming into a elected members briefing next week on Monday.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions? If not, can someone move that way? Move Deputy Mayor, seconded Councillor Wood. Either councillors wish to speak? Speak against? Put to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. 12.2 minutes of the Audit, Risk and Improvement Committee held on the 20th of November 25. Any additional information?
Nothing further, Mr. Mayor.
Any questions? Councillor Brown.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, so the report in the minutes discusses, it's in relation to the OAG audit and the, as it relates to IT.
You're actually adopting a report. So it's more relevant to do it under the adoption of the report.
The CEO is asking, is this to do with the annual report?
I guess it's relating to the audit that was discussed at the meeting.
Which is
Part of
part of the annual.
Okay, so I should
So,
wait.
that's- yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Someone like to move that way? Moved Councillor Sargent, seconded Councillor Acker. Either councillors wish to speak? Councillor Sargent.
Thank you, Mayor Feasy. I just want to commend the City of Kwinana with this particular audit and risk meeting, showing that they are continuing their best practice culture in providing staff with strong understanding with their Risk West consultation, so that they've got a strong understanding of risk identification, appropriate escalation, and making sure the city continues to foster and grow a strong safety culture to ensure our staff go home to their families. And I would also like to again commend the city and the CEO and the team with your internal audit plan, which again proves that there's a strong culture in best practice, proactive strategic governance, and continued motivation to learn and strengthen compliance and oversight within the city. So I highly recommend my fellow councillors support this and commend everyone that was involved in all the work and effort that you provided the Audit and Risk Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sargent. Councillor Acker. Anyone speak against? Put to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. There's nothing on item 13, 14, 15 or 16, 17, 17.1, minor amendment to local planning policy 10, commercial vehicle parking. Is there any additional information?
Nothing further, Mr Mayor.
Any questions? Someone like to move that way? Moved Councillor Wood, seconded Deputy Mayor. Either councillors wish to speak? Speak against? Put to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. 17.2, conditional delegation of the award of aquatic refurbishment tenders to the CEO. Is there any additional information?
Nothing further, Mr Mayor.
Any questions? Councillor Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My question is just simply, could there be any financial risk created by delegating the tender awarding process?
Mr. CEO?
Through you, Mr Mayor. No, there's no financial risk on it because the tender is based upon a budget amount, and part of the reason why we're doing an early contractor involvement is to manage some of that financial risk. So by having the construction company involved in the design aspects, they can value engineer it during that part, so it reduces the financial risk to the council.
Any other questions? Someone like to move that way? Move Deputy Mayor, seconded Councillor Acker. Either councillors wish to speak? Councillor Acker.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I support the officer's recommendation for this item. This project is obviously very significant for our community, and the timelines tied to the federal funding require decisive action, not divisive action. The early contractor involvement model is ideal for complex builds like this, and delegating the tender award to the CEO ensures we avoid delays and keep the program on track. Full reporting back to council preserves transparency, and independent oversight ensures value for money. It's a balanced approach that supports timely delivery and strong governance. Thank you.
Anyone speak against? If not, put the motion to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. 17.3, Development Contribution Annual Status Report. Is there any additional information?
Nothing further, Mr Mayor.
Council, have any questions? Someone like to move that way? Moved Councillor Penny, seconded Councillor Sargent. Either councillors wish to speak? Speak against? Put the motion to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. 18.1, Council Policy Review. Is there any additional information?
Nothing further, Mr Mayor.
Any questions? Councillor Penny?
Apologies, sorry, it's the next slide.
Okay. Someone like to move that way? Moved. Councillor Acker, seconded. Councillor Penny. Either councillor wish to speak? Anyone speak against? Put to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. 18.2, Budget Review, September 2025. Is there any additional information? Any questions? Someone like to move that way? Oh, sorry.
Just, yeah, 18.2. The 135,000 for the election commitment to the parks upgrade, could the city speak to which parks will be upgraded through that grant?
Was that the election commitment?
Yes.
That'd be Sunrise and
Through the chair, it's Sunrise and the basketball court.
Wellard.
Yeah, it's Sunrise Estate. It's an upgrade to that playground and the park in Wellard. We are replacing, I believe, the half-court basketball court for a new one.
There's an election commitment there. Which who was that funding offered through?
Through the
So
chair.
the Sunrise was through a discussion with the member for Darling Range, Hugh Jones, and the other one was from Roger's office. So the Wellard one came from Roger's office.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Councillor Miller.
Thank you, Mayor Feasy. My question is, in the item, it talks about how there was a delay in the building refurbishment loan. My question is, if there is any, what impacts could that cause, it being delayed?
Through the chair, it's not really a delay. It's just the way we accounted for it, and it's quite common for this to happen. We have a large project. We plan to start in a particular year, but we don't start at the start of the financial year. But often when they pull the budget together, it's based on the expectation that we'll draw down on the first day and start spending the money. But that's not really how it works. So the delay is just the time between the start of the financial year and when we actually have to draw that loan down. And that gap means we haven't had to make payments. But it actually hasn't changed our delivery of the project in any way.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, thank you, Worship. Just an explanation to the public around the opening surplus position and the variation. Just explain a bit more for the information of the public.
Mr. Elkins? No?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the main reason for the change in the opening surplus position is because of the change in the timing of when we received the financial assistance grants. So we got 75%, so that was the major change based upon the 2.6 million forecast that we had.
Any other questions? Someone like to move that way? Moved Councillor Sargent, seconded Deputy Mayor. Councillor Sargent?
Thank you, Mayor Feasy. I just want to say to the accounts team and everyone that was involved in compiling this document, especially on the back of audit and risk and how the Office of the Auditor General went through some bits and pieces as well, how you have very clearly laid out the figures and how it all matches very well. So I applaud the city for its transparency, that if anybody wished to read these documents, that it's all out in the open and very clear for everyone to see. So thank you for all of your work to make sure that ratepayers know where all the funds within our city are going. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, thank you, Worship. I'd like to commend the city on the comprehensiveness of this budget. It is a pretty tight budget moving forward, but there is room and it's showing that there's growth and development in the city for all the residents and future residents to be able to have confidence that as a growing city that we are in good financial stead to manage that growth.
Anyone speak against? If not, I put to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. 18.3 Quarterly Performance Report, Strategic Community Plan and Corporate Business, Quarter 1, July to December 25. Any additional information? Questions? Someone like to move that way? Moved Councillor Sargent, seconded Councillor Wood. Either councillors wish to speak? Councillor Sargent.
Thank you, Mayor Feasy. Again, this is another document that you have clearly compiled that shows how all the overarching documents that the city is governed by and our plans all link in together. It is clear and transparent. It has goals, alignments, from the very first documents that I have seen when I started on council to now. You are continuing to provide clearer, easier to read, highly informed strategic documents. So again, thank you to all the city staff involved in putting this together.
Who seconded it? Councillor Wood.
I just concur with what Councillor Sargent said. It's a fantastic document, put together, very easily read, and I commend the officers for doing it.
Thank you. Anyone speak against? Put to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. (18.4) Review of elected member policies. Is there any additional information?
Nothing further, Mr. Mayor.
Councillors have any questions? Councillor Brown.
Thank you, Your Worship. So the elected members' allowances, expenses and gifts policy references a process for elected members to claim travel expenses when done by private vehicle, and mentions a number of details that must be included to make a claim, including noting your vehicle's engine displacement. Now, my understanding is that engine displacement does not apply to electric vehicles because they do not have an internal combustion engine. How does this claim process cater to newer types of vehicles, such as electric vehicles, and should the city be reconsidering language like this across the board so it can be seen as inclusive of all modes of transport?
We only give money back for diesel users.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the issue is that we have to follow the ATO guidelines, so I'm not sure if that's been changed. I'd have to check on that.
And I would imagine if it hasn't, it would at some point.
Okay. So there does remain though a process for other vehicle types to be included here. It's just not 100% in line with the ATO guidance.
I'd have to check it.
Okay. Thank you. I'm happy for that to be taken on notice.
Any other questions? Would someone like to move that way? Move. Councillor Penny.
My apologies, I was thinking about electric cars then, and I was, yeah. Sorry, I do have a question about the allowances policy, and I just noted the removal of the councillor jacket in that policy, and noted that it still stands in the freedom of the city policy, that the folks who are awarded the freedom of the city have the option to have a formal council jacket. And I just wondered if you could speak to the history of that allowance. You know, when it's been used, has there been opportunities for people to have the choice to opt in and opt out, and why a decision was made to remove it from that policy?
So predominantly, I guess in the past, most councillors, well, all councillors wore the council jacket with the emblem on it, which goes back. I guess at a point, councillors, and there was no requirement in the code of conduct for that to occur, and over time councillors have chosen not to wear their council jacket because there's no requirement to do so. So predominantly that's the main reason why it's being removed, is because it's no longer used. And I guess a slightly archaic process that councillors be given them. And as far as an allowance, I mean, the Local Government Act does allow for a clothing allowance, but this council some years ago opted to actually remove the allowance, which was done in line with the increase to councillors' sitting fees when they went to the Salary and Allowances Tribunal. So as far as the Freedom of the City recipients receiving one, that is a good point, that if we're removing it from the councillors' policy, that I would imagine that should potentially occur from that policy. I guess ultimately I'll leave it, it's open to the council to make that decision. If you feel that should be deleted, then
I think it's quite well. Can I make a statement? It's not really. Sorry, I'll try and phrase this as a question. I'll say that it's quite well worded in the Freedom of the City policy, where it's an option. If somebody requires a jacket, that they can opt to request one. And I wondered if a similar approach would work for the elected members policy. And my interest in this is from an equity point of view. So my question is, would a similar approach be valid in this, in terms of, say we had an elected member who came on board who couldn't afford to purchase a jacket straight away, or if it's a requirement, a uniform requirement to wear a jacket in the chambers, perhaps some clarity around that, if that's a requirement in this chamber to wear a jacket, and if so, if new elected members could have the option of receiving that. I dare say most probably would not take up that option, but I just, in terms of an equity.
I think also the reason why it was removed is because it doesn't actually sit anywhere. It's not in the standing orders. It doesn't. There's no requirement anywhere for councillors to really be provided with one, and ultimately, we obviously, the policy said we would provide one, but there's no requirement anywhere for anyone to actually wear one. So I think if you were going to go down any path other than deleting it from the policy, you would need to actually include in a policy or the standing orders the requirement for a councillor or an option for a councillor to be required to wear a council jacket, which currently is not in place.
Okay, thank you. That helps to clarify.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, I think we're at a point where it's become an unnecessary expense. I think we look around the table. I think we have 2 councillors that do have the jacket. Everyone else does not. It was a fairly sizable expense for those jackets to be provided, and in fact they go back. The jackets go back to, again, prior to councillors being council sitting fee being increased under the Salary and Allowances Tribunal. So it was, I guess, somewhat of a token of, because the sitting fee that councillors of that day received was very minimal.
Yeah, thank you. That's helped to clarify. My question was, if it was a requirement, then I would be advocating that there's an option to provide one, should a new councillor need one. But as it's not a requirement of the chamber, I'm quite happy for it to be removed.
Okay. Any other questions? No? Someone like to move that way? Moved Councillor Penny, seconded Councillor Rouse. Either councillors wish to speak? Speak against? Put to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. Proposed disposition by way of lease, Suite 16, Darius Wells Library and Resource Centre with the Smith family. Is there any additional information?
Nothing further, Mr. Mayor.
Questions, councillors? Someone like to move that way? Moved Councillor Miller, seconded Councillor Sargent. Either councillors wish to speak? Yes, please. Councillor Sargent.
Thank you, Mayor Feasey. The Smith family, in my experience, has supported Kwinana families and children being able to access education and not feel like they are targeted for not having the base essentials to attend school. It's an amazing organisation that has made a real world impact to children and families that are of a low social economic background in our community, and I highly support them having a presence in Kwinana because they are supporting our community, our families, and giving kids what should be a basic right to attend education with dignity. So, go Team Smith family, and I hope everyone votes yes.
Anyone? Oh, you can.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Not to say the exact same thing, but of course this lease continues a valuable partnership that directly benefits not only the families of Kwinana, but to be biased, the youth, the children of Kwinana, and of course the recommended rent aligns with our leasing policy for charities and ensures equitable access to essential support services. And of course, I hope you all vote for.
No one speaking against. Put to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. 18.6, accounts for payment for the month ended 31 October. Is there any additional information? Questions? Someone like to move that way? Move Deputy Mayor, seconded Councillor Rouse. Either councillor wish to speak? Speak against? Put to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. Just keeping up. 18.7, adoption of the annual report, including the full set of audited financial statements for the year ended 30 June 2025. Councillor Brown, if you have any questions, are they from the confidential attachment?
No, Your Worship, it was in relation to the publicly published minutes.
Actually, something further.
Is there any additional information?
Yes, there is, Mr. Mayor. Councillors, you would have received an email from Anna just advising that since the Audit and Risk Committee, we've now received the signed representation statements from the auditors, which have been signed by myself. So that has been updated into the attachment. So it is the approved audited statements.
Any questions? Councillor Brown, remember that you're asking a question in relation to the public copy of
Yes, I can confirm my question relates to information on the City of Kwinana website.
Thank you.
Please stop me if you feel that is not the case. The report that, I guess the auditors informed this item, it discusses a lack of clarity or maybe consistency with the OAG audit as it relates to IT. But the findings do indicate a need to take action across a number of different IT areas, and it goes on to outline those actions that have been taken. If the city doesn't entirely agree with the OAG approach, or perhaps lack of clarity in this area year to year, what are the benchmarks or frameworks the city is using to assess itself against, reduce risk, and keep the data of our residents safe?
Do you want to have a crack?
Through the chair, we do have a cybersecurity manual, and that mostly we're talking about cybersecurity when we're talking about keeping data safe. That is based on the Essential 8, and that's something that we produced when we first started getting this type of audit from the Office of the Auditor General, and has been the document that we base our whole cybersecurity methodology on. It has been through the audit, and the auditors, each year they check it and they measure us against that. One of the challenges we've had this year, and we make the comment in the report, that there's not a checklist, and it's not as clear cut as the financial audit, where there is certainly the opinion of the individual auditor and the individual methodology of the individual auditor. So what was okay with the previous auditor, or our approach to something with a previous auditor, is not okay, or the approach is not okay with it with the new auditor. So between the last audit, where we had essentially cleaned everything up and we had no more findings, and this audit, we've gone from a contractor of the Office of Auditor General and the actual Office of the Auditor General auditor, and their comments was consistent with our view, in that you would expect to be suddenly a whole lot of new findings, and they expect next year that will suddenly drop down because we've cleaned them up. So to some extent, it's really helpful because it's a fresh set of eyes. We do complain that, hey, some of these things have been there for a while, why were they not identified? But the reality is the Auditor General's approach of changing the auditor out on occasion does mean we get a fresh set of eyes. So it's someone else having to look, which is obviously beneficial.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. I think the key point from that, though, is with all the systems that we have in place, there is a high level of data security. This is just taking that data security to the next level. But data security is there.
Any other questions? Councillor Penny?
My question just relates to the electors' general meeting, and under the annual report section, page 53 of the agenda, we've got the Local Government Act requires that the general meeting of electors to be held not more than 56 days after the local government accepts the annual report. And then it says if council adopts the annual report, the electors' general meeting is required to be held not later than the 13th of January 2026. And it is therefore proposed that the electors' general meeting be held prior to the first council meeting of 2026, being the 11th of February 2026 at 5 p.m. So are you saying that the electors' general meeting will take place on the 11th of February at 5 p.m? And if so, that is more than 56 days. Could you speak to that? Is it a typo or yeah.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the latter. It's a typo. It should be the 13th of February.
It will be the 13th of February?
Correct.
Okay, great. And will it be at 5 p.m. or will we be hosting it at 6 p.m. so people can attend?
So the reason why it's at 5 p.m. is the dates for the council meeting of next year have been set, and the requirement of setting a council meeting time and date means that the council meeting needs to start at 6 o'clock on that date. That's predominantly the reason why it's at 5. So if the meeting goes longer than we expect, there's a time allowed for that meeting to occur, and then the council meeting can still start at 6.
Okay, great. So the first, yep, okay, thank you. That makes sense, yep.
Which is the same in previous years.
Sorry, I didn't quite...
all the people that are going to come to the electors' general meeting.
Oh, you never know your luck.
Any other questions? Councillor Brown, I see that you're itching to stand up and ask a question.
Thank you, Your Worship. So my question, can the city shed any light on the communications plan around the electors' general meeting? I guess aside from the date, how electors and residents can partake in that meeting, and I guess the procedures they would have to follow to do so?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, same process as we've followed in previous years. So there'll be a notice which goes out in the newspapers, there'll be notices which will go up at the customer service area, at the libraries, and there'll be social media posts, and it'll be on the website.
And just a follow-up question, that collateral and kind of information will contain kind of instructions or tips on how to participate if they choose to actively get involved?
It advises when and where it is, but that's starting to get into quite a bit of detail. We can certainly have information on the website as to how to participate in that.
Yeah, just as long as, I guess, available somewhere. In the past, I've looked at other council websites to see those instructions, so it'd be good to have it in a spot. Thank you.
And I guess ultimately it would be great if lots of these people that get on social media come along and ask their questions here rather than on social media, because this is the place to do it, not on Facebook. Would someone like to move the recommendation? Councillor Acker, seconded. Councillor Wood. Either councillors wish to speak? Councillor Acker.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just would like to note that although there were more findings from the audit, overall the OAG was very happy with the City of Kwinana and where we are with things. So I think it's very, very important to note, yes, the goalpost got moved. Yes, there were more findings, but overall they were very happy with where the City of Kwinana is. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone speak against? put to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. Do you want to explain that?
Through Mr Mayor, if I could just reiterate what Councillor Acker just said. I think one of the things which is worth noting, and I think this is a reflection on the team and all the work that goes in from the finance, but it was a clean audit. Not a lot of councils receive clean audits, so it's an unqualified audit. So yes, there were some findings, and we already have a plan in place to address some of those, but receiving an unqualified audit is a good thing to have.
We've already voted. Where are we at? Notice of. No, we already did that. Yeah, we did that. The CEO spoke after all of that, just to confuse me. 19, notice of motion of which previous notice has been
Point of
given.
order, Your Worship, I don't think we did vote on that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, everyone raised their hand and
Everyone raised their hand.
yeah,
Then I spoke after.
we can vote again if you want. In case we sure we can vote again if anyone's concerned. Item 19.1, seedling subsidy scheme, budget increase for 26-27, which is a councillor notice of motion. Councillor, how does this work?
Councillor Acker to speak to it.
Councillor Acker, would you like to move your notice of motion? Yeah, so
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll just read it right off of here. I, David Acker, give notice that at this council meeting, I intend to move the following motion. That council requests the chief executive officer to, number one, increase the budget allocation for the seedling subsidy scheme to $25,000 in the 2026-2027 financial year. And two, review the program parameters to ensure the increased funding is used to expand community participation and enhance environmental outcomes under the urban forest strategy. And if I can speak further, this is a very popular scheme.
sorry, I need a seconder before you can
Sorry,
speak for it.
okay.
Second, Deputy Mayor.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Thank you. This is a scheme that's very popular. Demand exceeds supply every year. You get a lot of comments that caught my attention on Facebook, so I just quietly reached out to some of those residents. Actually sat down, had a beer and a chat on ways that we could expand this game, and you know, there were some suggestions to lower the amount of seedlings that were available for each resident, but the officer was against that recommendation. Tried to get it in for this financial year, but the seedlings have already been ordered, so it's too late to do anything for this financial year, which is why we're going to boost it for 2026-27 if it passes. So just by increasing the funds to $25,000, we go from an increase of 135 households. They're very strong environmental benefits. It has the officer support. It adds very little admin to the scheme. It's a win-win for the community, and it fits in with the urban forest strategy as well. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Acker. Deputy Mayor, did you want to speak?
Yeah, thank you, Worship. Yeah, the urban forest strategy is definitely a high priority for most other municipalities within the metropolitan area with the expansion of the residential component. It also provides opportunities for landowners that are environmentally inclined to look at how they can replace trees that would have originally been on their block, and an opportunity for them to be placed under a subsidy scheme so that we can maintain or work towards keeping the balance right and hopefully moving in the right direction to increase our canopy targets, which we're heading towards for 2030.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. As you can see by the agenda, there is actually 19.1, 19.2. 19.2 is the officer's recommendation because Councillor Acker provided notice, but the recommendation is the area that is in blue, which is the motion. And as you can see from 19.2, the officers support the notice of motion. So, does anyone want to speak against? Councillor Brown?
Point of order. I'm not sure how to ask a question here. I'm not speaking against, but is there opportunity to ask questions of the officer's report? Just so we've got clarity on what we're voting on. Just my first question was just clarity on increasing the budget, and then it mentions taking from the strategic reserve. Are we taking the increase from what was originally budgeted from the strategic reserve, or all the budget for the next round will come from the strategic reserve? Is that?
Through you, Mr Mayor. That's a good question. No, it's only the increase for the 26-27 year because we're still going through setting budgets. This year's quite tight. The following years, it'll be factored into the long-term financial plan, and then we'll pick that up. You're not taking, you're only taking the increase.
There's a difference.
The difference.
Okay. No, thank you. And the report speaks to the parameters of the program and I guess the different approaches that were considered to increase access. And so my question's around that component. So the report references the urban forest strategy and how this motion and the seedling subsidy helps to achieve the outcomes of that. Given the variability in property sizes, backyard sizes, and the reality that some properties would be able to sustain larger trees than others, has it been considered that there could be a different approach to opening the subsidy to everyone at once? For example, looking at allocations for different areas in line with what we're hoping to achieve with the urban forest strategy, or can the city speak to what was considered in that realm?
I don't know if you can give one area priority over another.
Definitely not saying that. Just
well, that's kind of
in line with, I guess, there's the urban forest strategy and wanting to increase canopy. So
through you, Mr Mayor, starting to get outside my realm now. So I really need Troy, which I don't have. So my understanding is that would be really difficult to do with the way the program is managed. So it's opened up across the city. If you look at the urban forest strategy goes across the city rather than, yes, there are areas where it identifies like the industrial parks and recreation spaces. So I think the program does need to be opened up. Once you start doing that, it makes it very hard to control. You then start to get concerns from different areas to say, why are they receiving an advantage over another? So I think from an equity point, best to open it up, which then fits in with the urban forest strategy.
Yeah. And is there a way to track against the urban forest strategy, I guess, progress or success of these plantings? I'm not sure if there's a way to do that without
I would have thought
a lot of admin burden, but taking photos perhaps.
Through you, Mr Mayor, yes, there is. LiDAR. So we do LiDAR mapping across the area. So we know what the tree canopy rate is at the moment. So we can see how plantings are occurring in particular areas. Obviously, it's going to take time because these are seedlings and so they'll grow. But over time, you'll be able to see how that's going through LiDAR mapping.
So you could theoretically compare that to the addresses or kind of the participants in this program over time, or maybe the hotspots.
I think you're starting to get into a lot more detail there.
No, I think LiDAR, I think that may be somewhat of a stretch. I mean, if we look at the size of the seedlings.
No, what I said is
over many
time.
years.
So over time, so if you look at from at this point in time to the future, you'll see whether the tree canopy has grown. But to do that requires data analysis to get down to that, and that's probably pushing it a bit far. We take a larger area.
Yeah, okay. I thought, it could be interesting to get those insights, but I don't want to take away from the motion too much.
If you refer to the urban forest strategy, that's exactly what's referred to in that in terms of LiDAR mapping to work out our tree canopy cover.
Cool. Thank you.
Councillor Sargent.
Can I ask a question as well?
Sure, this is going to be easy.
Hopefully. Sorry, I just had a thought from that conversation. If the seedling subsidy has exhausted really quickly historically. If someone's applying for the seedling subsidy, do we sort of, if you got it last year, you don't get first dibs this year, or is it just first in, best dressed in the door?
Councillor Rouse can actually answer that one.
Thank you, Worship. Once the allocations are exhausted, there's no way to track those people then going on, so they just get an information on their computer saying that allocations exhausted. So we don't actually know how many people are missing out on those seedling subsidies. So in future, obviously, this is a large increase, 150 to 350. So I guess a good way to do that will be judge on social media and get feedback from those people that miss out on this.
But sorry, don't we? So if you get your seedlings, we know who's getting their seedlings.
Yeah.
So then next year, if they were in the first 100, then they could go on the.
That could go off. So through you, Mr Mayor, the other thing just to add to what Councillor Rouse said, which is quite correct. So there is a wait-listed system which is operated. So that's done through Eventbrite. So it opens on a certain date, closes on a certain date, and people can put their names down on that to go onto a wait list, which then gives them a bit of priority to it. But once the seedlings are gone, that's it. The thing's closed.
Would there not be a fairer way of doing that, so it was more of a everyone says they want it and there's somewhat of a ballot more than just first in first served? Because we know how that's gone with the senior citizens and the senior citizens Christmas party, because certain members get the paper first and they get their tickets first. So
That's a lot of administration.
okay, just a thought. Trying to make it fairer. Any other questions? No? Councillor Brown, you look like you have a question? You sure?
Can I
Councillor
make a
Kenny.
cheeky suggestion that the mayor could run the ballot?
I'll hand deliver them as well if you want, and plant them. Do we have someone to move the item? Oh, we've already moved the second. Sorry. Anyone speak against? No. Put it to the vote. All those in favour?
Yeah, they moved
Yeah.
the second day.
We good? Nothing on item 20. Is there any late or urgent business?
Nothing, Mr Mayor.
Reports of elected members. And you didn't want to let everyone know about your hole-in-one? Councillor Acker. Councillor Brown.
Thank you, Your Worship. So since the last ordinary council meeting, on Sunday the 2nd of November, I attended the grand unveiling of the Court of Medina art installation project at Pace Road Shops. The group of artists were on, alongside Councillor Penny and Councillor Miller. The group of artists were on hand to describe each art piece, all featuring elements of nature, community, and in some respects the journey of each of the artists themselves. I highly recommend heading down to Pace Road Shops, grabbing a coffee and checking out this art installation if you haven't done so already. Hearing the story of it all coming together, the new skills learnt along the way, and the new friendships that were formed makes it even more special to see it placed in the hub of one of our historic pioneer suburbs in Kwinana. I want to wish a huge well done to the Court of Medina team and everyone involved in making this art installation happen. On Monday the 10th of November, I attended alongside other councillors and mayor, attended the launch of Seniors Week at the Senior Citizen Centre. And on Tuesday the 11th of November, I attended the Remembrance Day service at City of Kwinana War Memorial. On the 14th of November, I attended Shrek the Musical opening night at Colony Art Centre. And on the 21st of November, I attended Dazzle at Darius to see the mayor use the new and improved candy cane switch to turn on the lights. Fantastic evening.
Councillor Miller.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, a lot has happened since my first meeting. I attended alongside Councillor Penny, Councillor Brown, the unveiling of the Court of Medina project at Pace Road Shopping Centre. I won't speak on that. I think Councillor Brown spoke well. On the 8th of November, I attended the Rotary Kwinana Community Fair held at Callista Oval. in which I saw fellow Councillor Rouse, Councillor Sargent, and Mayor Feasy. Apologies if you were there, I didn't see you. On the 10th, I attended my first ever committee meeting, which was the Metropolitan Regional Roads Group Southwest Subgroup Committee meeting at the City of Melville with fellow Councillor Sargent. Then later in the day, I attended the Golden Giggles Seniors Games held at John Wellard Community Centre, where they made me ride a bicycle to blend up a chocolate smoothie. Did they make you do that?
No.
No, yeah, only me, okay. Yeah. Then I attended the infamous launch of the Seniors Week, in which held at the Seniors Centre alongside councillors Penny, Sargent, Acker, Brown, and Mayor Feasy, in which they got us to do the YMCA. You didn't do it. I expect you to do it next year. Then on the 11th of November, I attended the Kwinana RSL Remembrance Day held at the Kwinana War Memorial, alongside fellow councillors, Councillor Brown, Councillor Wood, Councillor Rouse, Councillor Acker, and Mayor Feasy. On the 14th of November, I attended the Seniors Arts and Crafts display held at William Bertram Community Centre, in which there was an Elvis impersonator, and there is no footage, but an older citizen made me dance there as well. And then later in the day...
There is cameras there, we do have the footage.
Yeah, don't pull it up. Then I attended later in the day the opening of Shrek the Musical at Colony Arts Centre alongside Councillor Wood, Councillor Penny, Councillor Acker, Councillor Sargent, and Councillor Brown. And then... What'd you say? Did you get up and dance? At the Shrek? No, but the next day, 15th of November, infamous day, I attended the Savvy Seniors Disco, in which, for those who don't know why they're laughing, the infamous worm was done. Hopefully I don't ever have to do that again. 17th of November, I attended the Senior Sit, my second committee meeting, which was the Senior Sits committee meeting alongside Councillor Acker and the Mayor. And then finally, the 21st of November, I attended Aurelia Primary School's assembly, in which I spoke to the students and wished well to the Year 6s as they come to graduate. And then later, I attended Dazzle Darius, held at the Darius Wells Library, with fellow councillors, Councillor Brown, Acker, Sargent, Wood, Rouse, and Mayor Feasy. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone. And then I want to say thank you to Councillor Penny for going down to the Melville dinner on our behalf. Thank you for doing that for us. That is all.
Councillors, just take note, you need to pick up your game. More public theatre. Dancing. And the worm. That's 4 weeks in. Let's see what happens after a year.
You said they made you do the YMCA. Who made you do the YMCA?
Councillor Penny.
Mr Mayor, the call for more street theatre is noted, and we will be looking to you for leadership in this regard. So let's see what 2026 brings. Thank you for putting your hand up for that one. So yeah, really, like we've all had a really eventful, amazing month. I had the great privilege of attending the Gilmore College valedictory ceremony on the 31st of October. Incredibly proud evening, even as someone who doesn't have children that go to Gilmore College, seeing all those young people graduate with so much pride and the support of their family. And it's a huge testament to the community that we're raising here. It was always a very, very moving evening. Some amazing cultural events as well in the city. I won't talk too much because I think my fellow councillors have covered some of these points, but I want to make a special note of the Choir for the People event on the 1st of November. Of course, the Medina the Medina sculptural project that was launched. I had the great privilege of an honour to sit on my first Bullamara Aboriginal Consultative Committee meeting on the 3rd of November. And again, I just want to thank Councillor Rouse for all of his hard work and for very graciously allowing me to sit in his seat for the next 2 years. So I thank you for that. And I also attended and sat on the Belia Regional Park Community Advisory Committee, of which the City of Kwinana is a member of. attended the Rotary Fair. I didn't see you there, but I took the afternoon shift, the later shift, and yeah, it was an amazing day. That festival just keeps going from strength to strength, and it's really great to see these community-led initiatives just getting stronger. Seniors Week kicked off on Monday the 10th of November, and anyone who missed out on those events, I think there was a fair bit of FOMO from the fellow councillors who couldn't make it to all of the activities. So I think the seniors events are becoming the hottest tickets in town. So watch this space next year. We'll be elbowing each other out of the way to get to the dance floor, led by our mayor.
Oh, you can go at any time.
After you. And where else are we at? Yes, the opening of Strek, amazing. And again, our Community Arts Centre just doing like a wonderful job. Also had the honour to go to the City of Melville Christmas dinner on behalf of the Mayor and fellow councillors. And I actually had a really wonderful night of networking and catching up with lots of people there. It was a good night. And I also sat with Councillor Rouse on the Development Application Panel, and I'm sure Councillor Rouse will have a few things to say about that, so I won't steal his thunder and leave that one to you.
Councillor Rouse.
Thank you, Your Worship, and thanks to all the councillors for their reports. Obviously a lot going on this time of year, and look forward to Councillor Miller's notice of motion for a councillor Christmas review at the Coralline Arts Centre in the future, so let's do that. As Councillor Penny touched on, we did attend the online Metro Outer Development Assessment Panel meeting on Wednesday the 19th of November, and where we heard the McDonald's application. With Councillor Penny and I and the presiding member supported the officer's recommendation 3-2 to refuse McDonald's application, and this was based on the design element of the McDonald's, which basically did not meet the intent of our master plan, and that is did not interface well with our main street design. There are means of appeal to the SAT, or there probably is a possibility of a reapplication by McDonald's to meet that main street design. So this may not be the end of it. Still, it's a gift that keeps on giving on social media at the moment, and there's still a little bit of kickback about the process of the DAP. I think Councillor Winmar and Councillor Penny will realise that the DAP is actually working in our favour of late, not in every occasion, but we've had some wins on local issues, and I do agree that the DAP has the best interest mostly in planning related matters. We do have to go on planning related matters. We can't just knock back at McDonald's because 9 out of 10 people don't like McDonald's. We've got to go on the actual planning guidelines and framework. So I appreciate the DAP's time in that matter, and I commend you, Councillor Penny, for the way you spoke during that meeting. So thank you, Your Worship.
Councillor Sargent.
Thank you, Mayor Feasy. Okay, so I attended my first Southwest Subgroup Metropolitan Regional Road Group, and I am proud to report that the City of Kwinana is utilising its full allocations on time and saving ratepayers' funds by ensuring that the city delivers best practice roads upgrades for our community by utilising all potential funding. The main roads people were very happy with the City of Kwinana. There was no other cities maybe didn't have all of their things in on time, but the City of Kwinana people proudly did. So go team, good job. And all of that funding means we're not spending ratepayers' money to have a better quality of roads for our community. So highly recommend that. I've already made my comments with audit and risk when I moved that today, but I would just like to say a big welcome to our lovely new independent member, Ashwin, as his first meeting. So I look forward to working with him going forwards. I will just like to give a quick shout out to the Rotary Club of Kwinana for all of their extensive behind the scenes magic to make the Rotary Kwinana Fair as fantastic it is with collaborating with so many community stakeholders and driving that initiative. It was a wonderful thing to see and to be a part of. Okay, so we are in the 16 days of WA campaign, and I would just like to quickly raise that in 2024 to 2025, there was 35,806 family-related domestic violence incidents reported to police in Western Australia. That is about 100 per day. From 23 to 24, that was 31,755. So there is a significant increase, as well as breaches from restraining orders increased by almost 20% in 24-25. So unfortunately, the perpetrators are re-offending the safety protocols. So in this space as a community, we've got work to do. So I would just feel that it is our duty as community to stand together to say no to violence, for everyone has the right to feel safe. Every child, woman and man should not face violence in any form, especially in their homes. I pray from the bottom of my heart that I will not stand here next year in the 16 days in WA campaign, and that I am not reporting on a rise of statistics. And as a community, we can all play our part to not enable, support, or encourage the perpetration of violence in our community, and to actively call out violent, bullying and aggressive behaviour, so our children's generation will not ever see this as okay or normal behaviour. So I'm just leaving it on that note. I know it's not 100% in my purview, but if we don't all say something about it, thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Sargent. Councillor Wood.
I've attended many things that everybody else has. I've attended the RSL Remembrance Day service. I went to Shrek the Musical, which was fantastic. I attended the Dazzle Darius evening, which was really exciting, with Candy Cane turning on the Christmas lights. I also attended the Rotary Fair, which I bumped into Councillor Penny, and I didn't see any of you, anyone else there except for Councillor Penny. I don't know. I attended the SWEPDEF meeting, which is Southwest Corridor Development Foundation meeting, where I was elected as treasurer, which was followed by the Environmental Forum meeting. I also attended the South Metro Zone meeting. I'm not going to go into details. And I also attended the Power for the People choir, which was fantastic. And I think that might be it. Oh, one more. Just along with the Mayor, I attended the community funding where Bendigo Bank puts in money along with the council.
Back up. Bendigo Bank doesn't put money in.
Oh, I thought Bendigo Bank put money in. They used to.
No.
They stopped.
They never did. The money that is in the community chest
it's community
was put in
chest.
there by the city.
Sure it wasn't started out by Bendigo Bank?
No. It was started by the city and, in actual fact, Alcoa.
Oh, okay. That's even better. So we had $20,000, which we gave to several, divvied up between several different community groups, and I'm sure they really appreciated it.
Thank you. There is no answers to questions previously taken. Mayoral announcements. Settle in. It's been a long month. I won't cover off any of what's already been discussed. I did meet with the UK Defence Select Committee to talk all things AUKUS. The UK Parliament has a committee to actually look at the AUKUS relationship, and so we met with some members of Parliament that are on that committee, along with a number of other mayors across the region, which was very good, and they provided some information that will would be good for the federal government to do here with AUKUS. We'll wait and see. Obviously, we ended the month of October. Sorry, yeah, October, which ended Community Safety Month. And as councillors should be aware, they may have seen a memo from Ms Greaves in relation to Community Safety Month, and one of the findings from that was to do with mail theft. And what the city has actually done is found some funds from community safety budget to allocate some grants for homeowners to purchase their own parcel locker at their house. So it's a letterbox style parcel locker that you have out on your verge instead of your stock standard letterbox. So there's the city's providing a $70 rebate to people that would like to seek the rebate and put in a parcel locker. All the information about that is on the city's website. And also there is a advertising and awareness campaign in relation to that grant, but also the fact that you can actually have a free parcel locker at Australia Post. There's a process. All the information on how to do that is also on the city's website, and I assume the city's Facebook page, especially coming into the Christmas season when residents in Kwinana do experience a lot of mail theft from their front porches. Attended all those other things that have been mentioned. A lot of the seniors events, I wasn't there to see Councillor Miller do the worm firsthand, but the video was certainly entertaining. I also attended a tour of the USS Vermont, again AUKUS related. There's that sub. I think the sub has now left, but it was in for maintenance, and there was a request that the next time a US sub comes in, that the invite to actually go on there and have a look is extended further than just mayors and people of note in the region, so councillors can get on there as well. I think that's about it. And well, tomorrow the city is hosting a number of a delegation from China, a number of mayors from China who are here on a visit, and we're taking them on a tour of the industrial area. Apart from that, the next council meeting will be held at Wellard Community Centre, as this building is being refurbished. So there are no confidential items, so I declare the meeting closed at 7:07. Thank you for attending. Oh, it's over.